What happened is that someone I met on Instagram had reached out to me, and I guess I had reached back regarding some beer stuff. Someone that had another common interest in craft beer that I had. And this person just so happened to be a really attractive younger woman who immediately won over my heart with just positivity and just a light about her that was, shined really bright. But being aware of my issues, I'd been in therapy, talked to a counselor when I was living away, and I realized that there's some issues that I needed to avoid, and there's certain things I need to focus on, like myself. And so I immediately put up a lot of roadblocks between myself, or walls between myself and this other person, because I knew the potential devastation that could happen because of this type of behavior if I continually follow the same patterns and let it perpetuate, that I could very easily slip into the same rut over and over again. So I was very committed to not let that happen. I was very involved in work. Like I said, I was working sometimes 50 to 60 plus hours a week, and just really throwing myself into that. But I was still drinking and doing other things. But this person was really interested in me and really liked me, and now in retrospect I can see why, because I've grown to really more appreciate myself and my talents and successes than I had in the past. But this person was very loving. I do believe that she was sincere in her intentions, but also lacked a lot of real world experience. And it was a person who lived in another country that was making a plan to come to the United States to study. I know this wasn't like a Manti Teo situation where I was, becoming deceived or falling for a false personality. Well, to some extent maybe, but I FaceTimed with the person. I'd done an amount of background check on the person, and after pushing this person away as much as I could, and her fighting it to show me that I was this great person, and made me believe in myself more than, I've believed in myself, but now really like, wow, you're awesome. What you do with the beer thing is awesome. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I am awesome. I do believe that, and I will always be grateful that, she saw that in me, even though I think a lot of my friends see that in me. But as someone that I was attracted to, potential lover, I thought that was great. And this woman, who I said I was very reluctant of accepting her words and love, because I've always felt like, especially since these past situations leading up to this, that words don't mean anything without actions. So I've been by that philosophy, yet I was okay with it because this was supplementary to my real life, things I was doing every day. But yet things became more intense, and we had started to talk about making a plan to meet each other and see where it goes. Now, before this even had a chance to come to fruition, she was very intense with me, and before I knew it, we started to tell each other that we loved each other, even though we had never met each other in person. A lot of red flags kind of went up at this point, because I told myself and I told her I'm not going to say it until it's confirmed in reality, and I don't want to get hurt. And she was saying, well, don't worry, I'll never hurt you, I'm not going to leave you. And again, you can see right now, hearing me talk about this, that here goes the unfolding. Here comes the unfolding of another love addiction series. Anyways, I suppose that makes me a hopeless romantic, or what some people want to call it. I don't know, but my codependency was already becoming fueled. Now, if things had worked out the way, this fantasy reality had come to light, you know, we would be together and we'd be happy forever. But, you know, you don't think about the details, the work that goes into relationships, the intricacies of a person. You think about a golden ideal of how things are going to end up. So I noticed a lot had changed for me. I've spoken about this in my previous web post, video post about becoming ill and finding out that I had a brain tumor and ending up in the hospital, and the community just stepping up huge for me. It was amazing. And this woman who I had these very strong emotions for, that I had only known via the internet, and had been very committed to giving me attention and showing me love in ways that the best ways that anyone can, without actually being there to express real physical present love. So at this point, she was doing a lot of things to help me, because she's a designer, and so she was designing posters for my events. And I mean, this was a mutually beneficial situation, because, you know, my company was successful. She was younger. She was trying to get her feet wet in the industry. She was very interested in craft beer, hence the Instagram platform, which is how I met her. And, you know, it's easy to meet people nowadays on Instagram if people follow a certain hashtag. In this case, it was hashtag craft beer, and, you know, you see all these people, and it's mostly men. And when you see women on there, they stand out to a lot of men, because a woman involved in craft beer is not as common as a man, and that is an attraction to a lot of men, including myself. But to get back to my point, when I fell ill in the hospital, it sorted a lot of things out in my life. And that's why I've always said I've been very grateful for this experience. And sometimes I feel that I am better off now than I was before the brain tumor diagnosis, because it's put my life into such a great perspective. Unfortunately, going through the various stages of grief, which a lot of it involved depression and rage and anxiety as components, dependency reared its head in my situation, and this dependency was coupled with a person who I could automatically feel that the change of heart had happened, because I'm not the same person. I no longer hold this, in their mind perhaps, don't hold the same post in weight of what I do in the world. And you know, I obviously can't drink beer anymore because of these conditions. So, you know, is it me that you love, or is it the, you know, craft beer personality that you love? Well, this person, you know, has a sense of morality, but at the same time was no longer interested in a person that wasn't the physical and identity, and didn't possess the role that they were after in a person in the beginning. So, you know, it became more of a friendship and less of a intimacy relationship, because, you know, I started sharing, you know, like intimate photographs of one another. And I'm not talking like perverted pornography or anything like that. I'm just talking like pictures that you wouldn't send to most people or post on the internet of each other, like loving photos. And so this began to dissipate. I became angry, and I was all messed up because I didn't know how to cope with the situation. So it's a very complex situation, but trying to deal with the situation, I likely was not an adequate person to be a partner to anyone at that point. And, you know, if I had been married to somebody and they were a committed, you know, spouse or you know, partner, even if I wasn't married, you know, that person would have likely, you know, been there by my side and, like, you know, helped me through the situation, like my family, other people have done. This person didn't do that. They, you know, weighed the goods and bads of the whole situation, well, what their family would think, about what other people would think, and essentially things changed. And I became more and more anxious and upset because things weren't panning out the way I wanted them. I was reaching out to someone to fix, you know, help me fix my broken self to survive a situation, which a lot of friends stepped up to help me survive the situation, but I was looking for this relationship to save my situation. And needless to say, it didn't work out, and I become very angry, upset, depressed towards this person. You see the communication becoming less and less with the person. So I got to a point where I decided I needed to end this completely. Block the person after becoming rude and mean and sad and trying all these different approaches, going through all these different emotions. I finally was like, screw you, you showed your true colors, or expressing real grief and sadness, trying to get pity, trying to show anger, trying to even express myself in great detail and without being angry how I felt. The communication wasn't there, and things broke down. So love addiction has presented itself in my life quite a bit, and I know it's prevalent to most people's lives, a lot of people's lives. Some people close themselves off, some people in relationships that are working, but the need to find love, especially with people who are perpetually single or looking or dating, can be a very difficult thing to work through. And I know this firsthand, because as you get older, you sometimes can assume that your options are getting less and less. Who's going to love me now? Who's going to want to be with me now? Especially for me, like feeling sick and having big life-changing decisions. It's like, who's going to want me? Blah, blah, blah. And like your pool's shrinking. You think these things. And whatever the reality is, it's not a healthy way of looking at things to view things in those terms. So moving forward, and I'm still a work in progress, but moving forward, I am not on the prowl to find somebody to love me, but that would be nice. I can feel the susceptibility that I have for that, but moving forward, I'm really focusing on loving and appreciating myself and becoming the strongest and happiest person that I can become. Enjoying a nice sunny winter day like today, going out, doing things, eating well, doing everything that I should have been doing my whole life, and not banking my happiness on another person. It's easy to bank your happiness on another person when you're committed, and that's okay. But live your life each day, follow your gut, and do what you know and believe is right for you. And I think if you do that, you will be okay. Just don't respond or don't act out of fear in your life. So don't think, I have to pursue this or do this because I'm afraid of what the alternative would be. You should pursue or do this because that ambition, that drive, that goal for that thing. So that's about all I can say for love addiction right now. I'll check in with you later, and hopefully I have a good update for how I'm doing in the future. But right now, things are going well, and I hope things are going well for you. Have a great day. This is Angelo. Take care easy.